Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of SLP's Wine and Cheese. I'm Deb, and today I am joined with Stephen Kneece of Speech and Language Songs. Say hi, Stephen.
Hello, Deb. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good. Thanks for
Long
having me.
time no see.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been a whole few days.
Yeah. So Stephen and I met while I was in South Carolina. I was presenting for, how do you guys say the abbreviation?
Skisha.
SCISHA,
Yeah,
for
you got it.
SCISHA, South Carolina Speech and Hearing Association. And it was super fun. And Stephen helped me out with the technical aspects of my presentation. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you for coming to South Carolina to present.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah,
I
that
really
was
liked
awesome.
that. Yeah. So before we get more into that, let's talk about the wine and cheese. Today I am drinking Spellbound. It is a Petite Syrah. It's from California. It's a 2016. And I like the description on the back. It's got like these moons on it, if you see. So
Nice.
it's like a witch wine. And this reminded me of being in South Carolina because Michelle Dawson and I were talking about our love for practical magic. So I was like, this must be the one I should get. So it says, everyone knows the warm sun nurtures plants, bringing grapevines to full maturity. But it's the moon, ruler of the tides, whose gravitational force helps pull water up from the soil during the cool nights that has influenced farmers since ancient time. Our food-friendly wines are true to their roots, expressing ripe, varietal character and spellbinding flavors. So this
That
is a
sounds fancy.
it's well, it was a $12.99
Ooh.
bottle of wine, so pretty affordable. It was good. It's quite smooth. I like it a lot. I can taste nothing too. Let me take another sip. It's pretty smooth on the palate. My dog won't start barking. I'm sure you can hear that. Yeah, it's very smooth. So nothing overpowering. Nice, light, and fruity, but not sweet. And I combined that with Bella Vitano Sartori cheese. It's a Merlot flavored cheese. And this unique cheddar Parmesan inspired Italian cow's cheese is immersed in fine Merlot to give it an extra tang and a delicious Merlot flavor. It's really, really good. And actually, this is a Sartori family original, and this gourmet cheese is a celebrated silver medal winner from the 2014 World Cheese Awards.
Nice.
So
Never heard of Merlot flavored cheese.
well, because it's an original of
Oh, okay.
this family, but I
Is the
never
wine
heard.
Merlot as well?
It's not. It's a Petite Syrah,
Ah,
but it's still maybe you don't want to match too much
that's
in
true.
life. I don't think. I think you gotta. It's
Two
like
on the nose there.
yeah. But I didn't know there was World Cheese Awards, so I'm gonna have to investigate this further.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. But yeah, so I vote drink it on this wine because it is delicious. And yeah, let's get into it.
Okay.
So, Stephen, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I've been an SLP for 7 years, all in the schools. So I've been in the school setting the entire time. I went to University of South Carolina undergrad, and I went to grad school at South Carolina State. In the last few years, I've started doing assistive technology stuff, and I've become like an AT consultant type thing, mainly doing AAC stuff.
Oh, cool. I am newer to AAC, so
Yeah.
I'm really falling in love with that aspect of speech pathology. But so, do you have a favorite device?
I don't know. So there's a lot of different ones. So I went to an Avaz training recently, which it
Mm-hmm.
was kind of interesting. But Perliquo, Touch Chat, Lamp Words for Life. It just got to match the features to the child, I guess. But they're all kind of interesting. But Avaz had a lot of new features that I'd never seen before. So that was kind of an interesting one. So that's kind of a newer one that I'm getting into.
Oh, I didn't see that one yet. I really have the most experience with Proloquo to
Yeah,
go.
I like Proloquo. You can like mold it to whatever you want it to be, which is kind of nice.
Right, it's very customizable. But my kid
Yes.
keeps putting all sorts of stuff on it. Every day, it's like low memory because he keeps taking pictures of stuff. But yeah, I like that. So you have your own LLC, is that right? And it's
Yeah.
speech and language songs.
Yes. So I do speech and language songs. So it's kind of like a YouTube channel. So I have like songs paired with videos. So I started off doing it I've been playing guitar and singing for a very long time, but I
Hmm.
was doing it within therapy for a while. And I saw in your presentation the other day that you do that as well. I
Yeah,
think you had like Backstreet Boys or something,
I
or
did. Yes, it was
one of
Backstreet
those.
Boys.
It was Backstreet Boys. But so I've been doing that type of thing, like just in therapy a lot. So was pushing into some classrooms, some self-contained classrooms, and we're focusing on core vocabulary. And so we're pairing those. A lot of those kids were using AAC devices. And then I was leaving the room. And so right now, as an AT consultant, I do like 20 different schools right now.
Oh
So I'm
boy.
not there. I'm not there that often. Um, so I can't push in all the time. So really wanted to start creating something so when I wasn't there, they could use that.
Hmm.
So then I started doing just little videos, and I was like, an easy way to share these would just be to throw them on YouTube. So I started doing that, and then people not in the classroom started actually watching them, like other people. So I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. So other people are enjoying that. So then I started creating more and trying to
Hmm.
push it out there so I could share it with other SLPs, special education teachers, parents, and things like that.
So does that help you promote carryover, you think? Because
I think so. I hope so. Because that was a little bit of the goal. Um,
right.
so I wanted them to be able to do that when I wasn't there, and I
Hmm.
thought maybe this is a really good thing that parents could use as well. So I'm doing it while I'm there. They're doing it while I'm not there. Then parents can do it. So if we're targeting a certain core vocabulary word, we can continue doing that, and so they get a lot of exposures. And it's pretty simple to model like aided language stimulation for those core vocabulary terms with the songs. So it would show the aides and the parents, that kind of thing, and it should be an easier thing for them to do instead of having to really know all this background information about AAC and all that. So that was kind of the general idea, was kind of why that started.
Nice. So you said you have always played guitar and
Yeah.
you always sang. Did you have so growing up, when did you decide that you were going to take the route of speech pathology?
Not until after I graduated from my undergrad. So I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. So
Hmm.
like in my undergrad, I had media arts, and I focused in audio. So I wanted to be like working in a studio and doing like audio design and things like that, and like Foley art and stuff like that, like for
Oh,
movies.
I love
You know
that.
what that is? Okay, I'm
Yeah,
surprised.
explain Foley for the listeners who don't know. That's my favorite part of post production.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. So it's
Hmm.
like when people are stepping or they turn a doorknob and things like that. There's someone in the studio somewhere creating those sounds and matching them up with the video. So it's pretty cool. So I was doing all that kind of media arts stuff, all
Hmm.
focused on audio. And I got out of school and I wasn't really sure what I was going to do. So I was like in the choir at the university, and I was in the classical guitar program. So I got out and basically worked at a music store and taught guitar and played in some bands. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And then I shadowed a SLP. I think my parents were like pushing something more legitimate onto me.
Right.
But then I
It
shadowed,
happens.
yeah, then I
Yeah.
shadowed an SLP, and I was like, oh, this is actually pretty cool. This is fun. This kind of clicked with me, and the person, and I actually still work with that person,
Ah.
who was pretty awesome. But she was, I actually taught her daughter and son guitar at the time. I guess I wasn't a great teacher because neither of them play anymore. But but I taught both of them, and she was talking about how I can incorporate music into it. It'd be a perfect fit. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I really wasn't sure what that meant or what I was going to
Right.
do with that. But she was just super encouraging. So I was like, so her name is Kiki Bennett, if she's listening. She's
Hey, Kiki.
basically, hey Kiki.
Hey,
So she
Kiki. Are you
basically,
listening?
so she basically got me into it. So, and I'm very thankful that she did. Was it kind
That's
of
wonderful.
yeah.
Did you ever see there's a documentary, and I don't know what it is or how I saw it, but it's like they were talking about the Foley art from Star Wars, and when they're walking in the snow, the Foley artists were actually crushing dog food in a bathtub,
No, no, I
and
did
that's
not
how
know
they
that.
created that sound.
That is fabulous.
Yeah, yeah, because people don't realize that like movies are like would be quite boring if it was just strictly the dialogue that's
Absolutely.
happening. So,
Yeah.
and not even just like music that adds the mood, but then also just like those background effects that are just natural to life. And rarely is the Foley artist using those items to create the sound they might make.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Yeah.
we had to do a project, and we had like it was a very short clip. I'm talking like 20 seconds of a
Hmm.
movie, and we had to recreate all of the, and it was so difficult. It took so long to make that, and it sounded awful, and it was so
uh,
bad. It was like it was not close to as good as the. I think I did. What's the what Robert Rodriguez film? What was it?
oh, I don't
Oh,
know.
sorry.
Well, it
Um,
showed you how
it's,
much work actually goes into
yeah,
those
no,
super
it was,
fun jobs.
yeah, I can't remember what it's like around the tip of my tongue. Anyway, but
It'll come to
yeah,
you.
it'll come to me
The
eventually.
little word finding issues.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, it showed how difficult that is. It was pretty interesting job.
yeah, very cool. Um, so how do you find that like there's a connection? Do you find that there's a connection between music and speech?
Sure. Yeah. So I think there's like documented like neural connections, like the areas of the brain are similar. You know, there's a lot of different places that are the same. Um, as far as like clinical implications of using music, I don't think there's a ton of research saying that this is definitely helping. So I more so look at it as more of an engagement thing. Like,
Uh-huh. I do highly agree that like fundamentally it's quite engaging. And then also like tons of research showed like in every capacity that when you slow down your speech and language, everything improves, whether it's your fluency or if you as a speaker slow down what you're saying, the listeners have an easier time processing what they're hearing. So lots of times when we're singing, we're slowing things down. And then also a lot of my presentation was on the benefits of repetitive activities, and music has that type of structure where the chorus is repetitive and the melody and the rhythm is a predictable map, so that I think is important. And then
right,
also um, music and language is characteristic of humans.
right, yeah,
It's,
like that's very specific to just humans, and there's no other animals that have
right.
both of those things. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so there's all that. I'm sure there's more. The point is here, people, you do your research, but we both agree that
It's engaging
it's
though.
engaging. So it gets the child to listen to you or the adult to listen to you. People are drawn to music. And then I always tell people that speech therapy is about 85, maybe 90% getting a person's attention and keeping it, and then knowing to what to do with it when you have it is like the other 5 or 10%,
I like
depending.
that. I like
Yeah.
that. I like that.
So it's yeah, it you getting their attention is not something to be underrated.
No, not at all.
Yeah. So, can you tell us about some of your favorite songs to use in speech? You mentioned a core word song.
Yeah, yeah. So I have like over 40 core vocabulary songs now.
Mm.
So I'm basically like going through. Have you ever looked at, so PRC has a list of 100 different core vocabulary words and all the different, pragmatic functions or the different, it's like verbs and prepositions and a couple of different categories like that.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, but there are 100 different words. So I'm going slowly through those and creating a song for each of those. So like the two that are like the most popular that
Mm-hmm.
people have just watched more so, he and she. So apparently that's a common one that they
And
are
she.
people continue to re-listen to is the he she core vocabulary song, and
Okay.
then my turn. My
My
turn seems to
turn.
be the second most
My turn.
popular one.
And are these the two songs that we're going to play
Yeah.
today?
Yes, absolutely.
Great. Okay. So, everyone, stay tuned for He She. Is that what it's called? He She?
Yeah, just literally he she core vocabulary song. So
He She core vocabulary song.
keeping it simple.
Nice. I like it.
This episode is brought to you by Therapy Travelers, and Flavia is going to share 3 great reasons to work for Therapy Travelers.
All right. So one amazing reason is the company culture. You won't find that working for any other company that really, truly cares about their therapists and what they're doing, because we want to change kiddos' lives. 2 is our benefits. A lot of people do not get wonderful benefits when they're working for agencies, and they're unaware that they actually can get those. So 401k, we match up to 4% starting day 1. We have a wonderful EAP program, which is all mental health based, and that's completely in the company. Medical, dental, vision, we do cover 75% of your premium. You get PTO, you get paid holidays, you get CU and reimbursement, sick time, a lot of those things you do not get when you're working for an agency. And the last thing is something called a relationship manager, which is a person that's there to be your advocate and to help you when you're on assignment. We don't just place you somewhere and forget about you. We have someone that's there to check on you, to be your main point of contact. They're also the main point of contact to the school district if you have any issues. So it's just a really unique agency to work for, and we love everybody that works with us. We're a big, happy family.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm inspired.
Thanks.
He is happy. He is sad. 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 She is happy. She 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 is sad.
That's such a great song, and it's so catchy. I can definitely see myself using that in any speech therapy session, especially with those who have complex communication needs. I wanted to let you all know that I did poll Instagram and asked a bunch of SLPs if they use music in speech therapy and how they use it. And I'm going to share some of their responses with you. The Speech Boutique has a video on her Instagram TV, and she talks about her 5 favorite songs to use in speech therapy. Sarah Ahem, it says it's great for establishing joint attention with kids on the autism spectrum. Cami Cam 5 says for older students, she's done lyric analysis for context clues and idioms. Also, Anne Marie SLP to B said one client started rapping their artic stimuli and it was totally unprompted, but she just went with it, which is a great idea. Andrea Sarah says she uses music and speech all the time. She sings through books, transition times, just to help with prosody and also going from one activity to the next. Shami Shep says with her pre-K students, she almost always starts every group session with a song that fits their theme. J9B said that she recently got the idea to use Let It Go lyrics as a poem. She uses it to learn vocab and then also ties it to the movie. Finally, Julie USF says that she uses musical chants to help students retain information and also as a calming tool. This episode of SLP's Wine and Cheese is brought to you by the Informed SLP.
Great clinicians need great scientific research to inform their practice. But how can we know the research with so many articles and so little time? The Informed SLP makes it easy. Each month, their team of scientists and clinicians find the research for you. They explain it without the jargon, without the burden, just for SLPs. So you could spend less time reading and more time treating. Visit theinformedslp.com.
Can you tell us a little bit about your core vocabulary song, My Turn?
Sure, yeah. So it's pretty repetitive, like you were talking about, kind of repeating the same thing. So just a fun way to practice utilizing those core vocabulary terms, my and turn. So my turn. So it talks about it's my turn to eat, it's my turn to play. So I'm incorporating some other core vocabulary terminology in there as well.
Wonderful. Do you ever have any like gestures that you pair it with, or?
So typically when I'm in the classroom, I'm actually like playing the guitar, and I just use the same thing, like same visuals, but I'm just using like a foot switch to change the slides. So if I don't have the guitar and I'm just playing the songs, I don't really do gestures. I will have like a core vocabulary board, like a manual communication board, and I'll actually like be providing aided language input and like pointing out the terminology, like of the core vocabulary term as it comes up in the song, that type of thing. But I don't have any gestures, so I'm not that cool. I don't have gestures.
Well, I mean, I'm sure it's great without the gestures. You don't need that. Your hands are full with the guitar. And everyone, stay tuned for My Turn by Stephen Kneece. Great job, Stephen. I love it.
Thank you.
I'm going to definitely use these in my speech therapy sessions.
Thank you so much.
And so where can we find all these songs?
So I have a website. So I started off on YouTube, so I had a YouTube channel, and then it was just kind of getting a little muddy. Like there's so many different songs. I have like over 100 songs now, with like artic and phonics and all that kind of stuff too. So I created a website, speechandlanguagesongs.com, and so I organized them all there. So it's easy to get to what you want to find.
Wonderful. So talk about some no prep speech therapy.
Exactly. Just go right to it, man.
And I think songs are a great transition between activities as well. It could also be like it can signal that something is starting, or it can signal that something is finished. So
Absolutely. Yeah. So like when I'm doing push-ins, I'm not like just doing a song the entire time or like multiple songs. But it's kind of like typically it's the first thing that I do. So I'll do the song, and then I'll do like a typical session would be song, and then that same core vocabulary term. I'm going to read a book, or it's a PowerPoint book type thing. Because I'm a lot of times that's a whole class that I'm pushing into, and then we do like an adapted toy or something like that that will also reinforce that same word. So it kind of all pairs together, doing a bunch of different things but targeting the same thing. Kind of sound like some of the things that you mentioned the other day in your presentation.
Yeah, and also like the structure too. I just love structure in speech therapy sessions, just because it's not even just for the client's sake, it's for my own sake. Like I know what's next, so I'm never worried either how to fill the time. It's filled.
Yeah, makes sense.
Now I'm sure you're all wondering, where's Maria? Well, guess what? Here she is. The episode wouldn't be complete without her, and I haven't heard this yet either, so stay tuned.
Hey everyone, Maria here. So I wanted to look into the research for speech and music. So as we know, speech requires repetition of movements, and I want to dig into 3 reasons how speech and music correlate and can be combined. Specifically, I should say speech and language and music. But the 3 reasons are auditory decoding, phonological processing, and speech motor planning. So based off the research that I've read, the article titled Non-Word Repetition in Children and Adults Effects on Movement Coordination, and it's a recent research, and I'll attach it to the show notes if anyone is interested in reading it. Maybe I would like to hear their take on the article, because, as we know, these articles can be, have different meanings, and depends on who's reading it. So that's something I believe I listened in Mei Ling's podcast, so shout out to her podcast. Anyway, so just briefly, not to read word to word from this article. This article looked at hearing and repeating novel phonetic sequences or novel non-words. So it's not exactly music per se, but it's similar because it talks about coordination. So going back to the music, the first reason was auditory decoding. So my interpretation of that is that when a child, or even any adult, any age, when you listen to music, both of your hemispheres light up, because you have that motor planning aspect, but you also have memories, oh, I remember this song and it brings me back to when I was 15 and this was happening in my life. So music has that emotional tie too, so there's more neurons that fire together, wire together. Anyway, that's my take on that. If anyone has anything to back me up, or feel free to shout me out. Phonological processing, to me, I took that as you learn that there's certain combinations in your mother language or your first or even your second language, so the baby is making those connections. For example, in English, we don't have many words that start with the sound boof, so that might not be combination made, and then we might lose that combination, because as 6 months, 9 months, babies begin to start to wean out sounds that are not in their mother tongue, or L1, yes. And then speech motor planning, which I feel is the jaw movement of learning the sounds ah, 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 in a song, and then that child's learning oh, I gotta open my jaw about here to make that sound, to follow along with the singing. So it's like, oh, we're in singing class, let's follow along. Anyway, so that's my take, and I ran out of time. So, bye.
So, in doing this, what have you seen be the impact of using speech and language songs on yourself and your clients?
Well, myself, like I've enjoyed it. So I'm doing something,
Is
and
it targeting your intrinsic motivation?
it is definitely. I mean, I do. So I'm going to work serving kids, and I do all of this like recording and stuff like that on my own time. Like I'm not getting paid for it, but I'm enjoying doing it. So it's on that side, like I'm enjoying doing it, and it seems to be motivating the kids too. So they are happy when I come in with a guitar or we're just playing the songs. It's really cool to hear little stories from SLPs or teachers that I work with, like, oh, we've been using your songs and it's been very effective. That's nice to hear. I was at ATIA in Florida. It's a Assistive Technology International Association, I think. There's like AAC stuff and all kind of assistive technology conference in Orlando every year. But somebody came up to me and said, and I didn't know this person. So I've been using your songs. I guess you recognize me from, I don't know, Instagram or something like that. I don't know. But she was like, I've been using your songs and it was very helpful. And that's some really good motivation. There's like somebody else is utilizing this stuff. And getting something out of it well beyond just me and just my little world here. So that was pretty cool. And the fact that kids are getting motivated by it, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and you're increasing the engagement there, and you kind of talked about a population that can often be quite difficult to engage. So
right, yeah, it's kind of focusing on like the complex communication needs kiddos, which sometimes gets overlooked a little bit.
I love that. So you already gave us so many tips and tricks, but like, do you have like any applicable advice for listeners that could easily be done tomorrow in their sessions? That no prep, just try it tomorrow.
Sure. So I would say probably best thing to think of is utilizing the core vocabulary songs for aided language stimulation. Like it's super, super simple. Even if we have like a kid that is not utilizing AAC at all, you're like, he's not a candidate. We know he's not a candidate, whatever, something like that. You can still provide aided language stimulation. And that's really, you're going to play the song, and along with it, you have a low-tech communication board, or you have a high-tech device already for the kid that's just being underutilized, and you can sing along with it and showing it to that child. Just you're going along with it.
And you're modeling the words with the AAC device as you're playing the song.
You got it. Yeah. Okay, just for them. So that's or you can be modeling and providing it right above where they are, so if it's my turn, it's my turn to eat and things like that, you can just focus on turn. If they have 0 words they are producing. If they're just doing turn, then you can model or provide aided language stimulation slightly above that and do my turn, and then so on, and keep building up. And then provide the appropriate level of prompting for them if they are actually able to directly select something on the device as well.
Right. And it also for somebody who is able to do all these things. So I have a client who he's actually quite good on the AAC. So I find myself just like constantly looking for content because he can produce long productions on the AAC. He could find things very easy. So we're kind of between using things I create and then trying to use classroom materials. We're not really at classroom materials yet as much. Right. Well, as much as we can, we are, but I need more of a bridge. So these songs seem like something that I can have him do independently while listening and perhaps singing along.
Yeah, and it kind of be like core vocabulary karaoke, where he's like trying to keep up with it too. So
yeah, like increasing agility on the AAC device. Yeah, I love that idea. And then finally, so we like to end all of our episodes with a quote or mantra. Is there anything that you tell yourself each day that inspires you?
So one thing, and I have like T-shirts, and it's on the back of it. And this is like such a common thing that speech therapists, there's probably 100 speech therapy practices that use this, but I still like it. It's everyone deserves a voice.
Mm-hmm.
Super simple. Yeah.
Yeah, love it. Everyone deserves a voice, and it's true. Is there anything else that you want to plug? Or your website again, your Instagram handle? Just let all the listeners know where they can find all of your great materials.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. It's all speech, same thing, speech and language songs. So if you want to, so all these resources are completely free, and I'd like to keep it that way to support the project and make it sustainable. There are a few things that people can do to help out. Subscribe to the YouTube channel is a big one. So the more subscribers you get, more people get to see it, the more views you get, the better that is. I have a Patreon page for speech and language songs, so you can become a
great.
patron. I think it's $2 a month, which is pretty minimal.
Mm-hmm.
And buy merchandise. We have some merchandise on the website, and we have personalized songs too. So, and those are the only thing that are for a fee. So you can purchase those. So if you have a kiddo and you want to create their very own song for them, I have like a template, and I ask you questions like, what is the child's name? What's their favorite food, place to go, things like that. And you provide pictures along, and it can be super personal. Like the kid can be in the pictures if you want. If not, that's fine too. So whatever you want to make it. Then you send all that information to me. I create their song and I send it back to you.
I love that.
That's a
so
small,
great.
and that's a small fee, but that kind of all those different things kind of keeps the project going.
And I do know there's lots of research for utilizing authentic materials in speech pathology
Yes.
to encourage generalization of those skills. So there we go. Research backed.
Thank you.
Whole episode.
The whole thing.
Yeah. So thank you so much for being here, Stephen. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. That's our show, everyone. Thanks for listening to SLP's Wine and Cheese. We have new episodes every week, so be sure to subscribe. Also, we'd really, really, really appreciate it if you would like and review us on iTunes. If you love the show and you want more bonus content, check us out at patreon.com/SLP's Wine and Cheese. Also, stay tuned after this message, and I'm going to play some clips of myself using music in speech and just having fun with it in life.
When I say I want it that way. You guys got it? Okay, you're gonna sing it with me. You are my fire, the one desire, believe. When I say I want it, you say that way, that way. Ooh. Good. He has to say that too. Day. Dice. Dice. Dog. You are my only. You make me when skies are. You'll never know, dear, how much. Please don't take. Very good. Every letter makes a sound. H says ha 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 ha. You are my sunshine, my only. Don't say about itself. You made me happy. How much I love you. Never known, dear, how much I love you. dreamt I had you in my arms. Say the jumping. How am I going to do the drum and the guitar? I don't know. Ready? Start from the beginning. The other night, dear, while I was sleeping. Nature's first greenest gold, her hardest seed to hold. Her early beats the flower, but only so an hour. Then leaves the size to leaf, so Aiden takes. Ready? Hallelujah. I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do you? Very good. Well, it goes like this: the fourth and fifth, the miracle and the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah. Very good. Hallelujah. 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 Yay! So good.
Say, go. Nature's first green is gold. Her heart is you to hold. Her early leaves a flower, but only an hour. Then leaves subsides to leave. So Eden sank to grief. So dawn goes down to day. Nothing go can stay. Nothing go can stay.
Very. Sunshine or twinkle twinkle? Twinkle twinkle. Okay. Twinkle twinkle little star, how I wonder what you above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Let me hear you. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. How I wonder what you are. Yay! Sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. Look, gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Good. Let's try again. Country road, take me home to a place